Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something clicked.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
And it feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things, of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
I've been thinking about this all week.
Yeah.
And not very organised thoughts. Just sort of, it's been with me all week, put it that way, rather than sort of proper thinking. And what I've noticed, there's been a couple of things I've noticed that have been going on during the week, and one is that I'm quite anxious. Okay. And there's always something in your life you can find to be anxious about.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean that that's what's causing the anxiety. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have been feeling quite anxious about dozens of different things, and things which objectively, there's not much point in being anxious about. So I'm guessing that the anxiety is just sort of a thing in itself. It's not necessarily in relation to something. It's just there.
Yeah, we could investigate, try to find out.
Yeah. So that was one thing. And the other thing was, without going into a lot of detail about stuff that's going on, there's been quite a few times over the last week when I have when I've discovered that my intuitions and my reactions and my responses to things have been a bit off. And I've sort of a growing feeling of not trusting myself to know what the frick is going on in my life. And that's quite odd. That's very that's like the ground doesn't feel solid under me, and things feel a bit wobbly.
Okay.
So those were the two things that sort of came up for me.
Yeah.
And you said you've been thinking about this stuff has been up for you in the past week. Does it feel like it is connected to our conversation?
I think it might be. Yeah, I think it might be. I'm not quite sure how.
Okay.
Because like I say, objectively, when I engage my my grown-up adult sensible brain, there's no reason for it, but that's not always how.
It's not how parts work.
No, exactly. So I think it might be, yeah, but I can't tell you in what way.
Okay. All right. We can investigate those. We can get to know them. Or anything else that's on your mind, or any other parts that are up for you.
Yeah. What would
They're
be
all
your
welcome here.
Yeah. What would be your suggestion about?
Yeah. Well, what I'm hearing is there's an anxiety that's kind of general, or it's connected to maybe a lot of different things, not sure where that's coming from. And then there's the kind of disconnected, groundless feeling, which sounds different, but maybe there's some overlap there. One way to start is just to kind of invite those parts and any other parts that are up for you right now to a conference table.
Oh, okay.
Ask them all to pull up a seat. Let them know you see them. If you're feeling them, if you're feeling that anxiety, let it know you see it, you feel it. Or that groundlessness.
Okay. Give me a sec and I'll see. Yeah, they're both there.
Yeah.
So I would call them. One I would call anxiety. And it's sitting on the left. I don't know if that matters or not. It just seems significant.
Might matter.
And the other one I would call not trusting myself.
Okay.
And that's sitting on the right, and they both know I'm here.
Great. Just let them know they're welcome.
Yeah, they're just kind of looking at me going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And
now's their opportunity to share their story and to be better known by you. And so you could ask or just feel into which of them needs your attention the most.
Okay, give me a second. They're being quite polite to each other, saying, you go first. Both of them saying that. They want me to pick. I don't know.
Okay. You don't have to pick either of them.
Pardon?
You don't have to pick either of them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If neither of them are ready to have that kind of conversation with you or to share with you, we can look for other parts.
I think they'd be happy to. I think they'd be happy to have a conversation with me. Oh gosh, I can feel myself getting stuck again, James.
Okay, can you tell me what the stuck feels like?
Um,
How do you notice that in your body?
it's in my chest.
Yeah.
Or in my lungs, actually. I have an issue with breathing.
Okay.
I've got a breathing disorder, and that's where a lot of things show up. Sorry, what was your question again? Where is it in my body? Yeah, in my lungs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm all over the place. And a bit stuck, and a bit...
Okay.
I think I'm a wee bit scared, actually. That's what I think I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
The stuck and the scared are also welcome.
Okay. Couple more chairs pulled up. Yeah.
And what are the messages that the scared or stuck are sending you?
I think the scared creates the stuck, really.
Okay. Yeah.
The scared is not really knowing what I'm doing here, or why I'm here, or what I'm doing, or how to go about doing it.
Yeah.
And not wanting to, waste the time. So kind of a feeling of doing it all at once and being very busy so as not to waste anything.
Right. Right.
And scared of missing something and rushing off in different directions. And I don't really know what I'm doing. That's what it is.
Okay. So don't know what you're doing, don't know why you're here, possibly wasting time, possibly might rush and miss something.
Yeah, I perhaps refine that a bit to say I think I know why I'm here. I just don't know how to be here or how to do it.
Okay. And you're talking about doing IFS, talking to parts and in this process? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That there would be some fear around that. I have some fear around that right now myself too. That I don't know what I'm doing. What I'm doing here.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So you just let that part know that makes sense to you.
Yeah. That's really new. And new things can be a bit daunting sometimes.
Definitely. And I think it's right to want us to look out for rushing, missing things. That would be a mistake if we were to try to do everything and rush through it.
Yeah. So that whole thing about, where to start, even just where to start.
Yeah.
Even that's, I don't know how to do that even.
Yeah. You already have.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is doing it. This is doing it. You've already recognized several parts. You've recognized that it can be a challenge to know who to go to first. You've kind of validated that fear and hopefully let it know that it's welcome, that it makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no wrong place to start, because all of these parts have something to share with you.
Yeah.
And no matter what we're talking about, parts are going to come up. So this is a fine way to start.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just getting the message I'm getting is being here is enough right now.
Yeah, how's that feel?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling that too.
I've just realized actually everybody else has got a chair, but I didn't have one. So I might just get a chair and make it a very comfortable one.
Yeah. Take your time, get comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. I bought a chair the other day, and I bought it because it was really comfortable. I'm
in a new one today myself.
Are you really? What sort is yours?
I'm embarrassed to say I have kind of, most of my furniture is kind of slapped together by myself.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
It's not one of those fancy gaming chairs, is it?
No, I'm using a massage table, not how it's designed to be used. So I've tried turning it into a reclining chair. So far, so good. But if it slips out from under me, well, you'll know.
I'm trying to create a picture of that. That sounds quite amazing. Yeah, my chair was I do most of my shopping at, I think you call them thrift stores. Stores. We call them op shops, which is short for opportunity shops.
Okay.
And I do most of my shopping at op shops. And there was this very nice wooden chair that, if it had had rockers on it, would have looked like the iconic rocking chair. But it doesn't have rockers on it. It just has legs. But it's wooden and, with no padding or anything on it. But when I sat on it, it was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
This feels really, this piece of wood with these spindle backs feels really comfortable. So
nice.
And it was only $20, so I bought it. So maybe my little brain knew something that I needed to get comfortable when I came here.
It's very important.
So that was me diverting off a bit.
All right. So you still have these parts at the table with you?
Yeah. They've been very patient.
Great.
They're quite glad to see I've got a comfy chair, though. So that's nice of them. I think they're quite friendly, really.
Did you say finicky?
Friendly.
Friendly.
Quite. Yeah. They don't seem like they're cross at me or anything.
That's interesting. Because, when you're first describing anxiety, groundlessness, and fear, right? Those are typically things that people are fighting, right?
Yeah, but they're on the other side of the table and just being them, and I'm over here. So, I think they're just kind of waiting for me, really.
Okay.
I still don't want to engage them just yet, though.
Okay. Is there some concern about engaging them?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's that? And what's that saying?
Oh Lord, I've just gone forward in 15 different directions at once right now. That question, what did you just ask me? I've forgotten.
I was asking what the concern is saying.
Oh, yes.
If it's sending you a message.
What is the concern saying? It's just saying, it's just saying this is a concern.
Okay. Can let it know it's welcome to.
Okay, yeah. You're piling up over there. Sorry, I know I mumble a lot. If you can't hear me, let you know. I'll try and be clearer.
Okay.
So they're all just sitting there looking at me. They're not being demanding or anything.
Mm-hmm. And how about that concern part? Did it also join the table and look at you?
Yeah. That's what I said. They're piling up over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quite a few of them.
I think those concerned and afraid parts are good to get to know first, because if we jump over them, then there can be some backlash.
Right. Okay. There's one of them there at either end with a whole bunch of different ones in between them.
How do you feel towards the concern part?
How do I feel? A bit. I don't know. A bit confused, actually.
Mm-hmm.
How do I feel toward? The thing that comes into my head when you ask me that is, I say I think I feel concerned. So I guess that means that it's not quite on the other side of the table properly.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of in your lap.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Just let it know. Just let it know you notice it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's sitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
We're nice to know.
Yeah. And if it does give you a little bit of space, it might be easier for you to understand more about it and just to see it. So you could just let it know that.
Okay. Yeah. It's a little bit puzzled by that. Like it's not sure that it really understands how that could work.
Yeah.
But But yeah, it's willing to give that a go.
Okay.
I don't think it wants to go on the other side of the table just yet, though.
Doesn't want to go too far.
No.
That's fine. That's fine. You can thank it for its willingness to experiment and
I think it's actually sitting on the table now.
Yeah.
So it's not right. It's not nose to nose with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now you're feeling a little less concerned?
Yeah.
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 Great. Yeah, you can just invite it to notice you, the you that's not concerned, the you that's able to see all these parts.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some space between us now.
Great. It's great. And we're not doing that to get rid of it. We're doing that to see it better.
No, that's right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very tall.
It's very tall?
Yes.
Okay. I want to let you know and all your parts know that anything that they were to share with you doesn't have to be shared with me.
Right.
So if one of them wants to whisper in your ear, I'm fine with that.
Right.
Of course, nothing has to be shared outside of this conversation also.
Yeah, that's good to know.
So how are you feeling towards that concern part as you see it? You see that it's tall.
Yeah, it tries to take up a lot of space.
Mm-hmm.
How am I feeling towards it? Yeah, I am curious about it. Yeah, I am curious. Yeah. It's a bit tentative, but it's there.
Great. Just let it know that. And then you can ask it what it wants you to know.
It quite likes that I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
What does it want me to know?
Mm-hmm.
That sets off the confusion again.
Okay.
This is going to be a bloody long process, isn't it?
I mean, I think it's a lifelong process, so, however long that is. But I also think that it's incredibly efficient, and just seeing what you've done in 20 minutes or so of having all these parts that were nagging or blending, you don't know where they're coming from, and now they're all at a table in front of you.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge.
It's been 20 minutes, has it? Good grief. Good Lord. Huh. I've only just got to the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
some confusion came up when you asked the concern part what it wanted you to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what that's about? Where the confusion's coming from? Is the part confused, or it's just feeling of confusion?
The question didn't make sense.
Ah, okay.
I mean, I know what the question means.
Mm-hmm.
I know what the words mean, and I know what I know. I've heard other people, and I know
deliberately very open question that can be answered.
Yeah.
It's so many different ways. So
yeah.
Again, just showing that part that you're curious about it. You can ask it anything you want, but you could ask it what it wants you to know about itself. Or anything that it would like to tell you.
Yeah, okay. I get a feeling that the question is more along the lines of why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like that's what it wants me to ask it. Not in a challenging way, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Not like, why are you here? But kind of like...
I think it's a fine question. Why are you up? Why are you concerned?
Yeah. Okay, give me a minute here.
Mm-hmm.
It says it's here because I need it to be here. It says I need it. It's saying to me, you need me.
Yeah.
Does
that make any sense to you?
No, not at the minute.
Okay.
It's looking at me as if I'm stupid. It's looking at me and saying, well, you need me. Of course I'm here.
Yeah. Maybe it can tell you about a time that you needed it, or a time that it helped you out.
This is the concern part,
mm-hmm.
Worry part. Sorry, say that again, James.
It could tell you about a time that it helped you out, maybe in the past.
Oh, okay. I'm afraid things are muddled again.
Okay. Another question, a different question could be asking it what it hopes to accomplish.
Okay. It wants to protect me. It wants to keep me safe. It wants to smooth the path. So that I'm not so that I don't keep tripping up and stumbling around. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's worried about you tripping up, stumbling around.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I don't quite know why. I don't know why it makes sense, but it does.
Have there been times when you tripped up or stumbled around?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm old. That must have happened to me.
And maybe you could ask more about that. You could ask it what it means by tripping up and stumbling around.
Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Does it mean? It means I'm getting the word impulsive. So maybe it's to stop. Maybe it's concerned about being impulsive and
yeah.
So I kind of have this picture of, well, not a picture exactly, but a sense of a little kid somewhere just going, oh, yay, and grabbing it. I don't know what it is, but just kind of like going, oh, cool, good. And
an impulsive little kid.
An impulsive little kid, yeah.
Yeah.
And not realize, and not just being just oblivious to anything other than its feeling of, oh, good. That's the only thing that, you know, that matters.
Yeah. And this part feels like it really needs to protect that little kid.
Yeah.
How long has it been doing that job?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, a long time. Long time.
And what happens if it doesn't? What happens if the impulsive little kid does what it does without concern protecting it?
It gets hurt in some way or other.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. It's what looked like a good, lovely, wonderful thing turns out not to be so much. There's something, you know, that it's prickly or it's tastes bad or it's dangerous in some way. And the little kid didn't know that.
Yeah. So this part's been doing this job, doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Has a pretty clear image of what it is protecting.
Say that bit again?
It has a pretty clear image, or it's showing you at least one image of who it's working for here in its protection.
Yeah. It's working for the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. See if you can show it appreciation for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's quite a tricky job actually, because there's kids all over the place, man.
Yeah.
Just the kid just thinks it's living in Wonderland, you know, where everything is just amazing and attractive and delicious and fun, and this part is having to run around like a maniac saying, stop, don't go there, stop, don't. It's not what it seems.
Yeah, you just let it know that you see what a tricky job that is, and see if you can show it appreciation for its intention, for working so hard for so long.
Yeah, it has kept me safe.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, most of the time, not always.
Yeah, and sometimes it kind of gets in the way, right?
And sometimes it just misses things.
Yeah. How does it like doing that job?
I think it thinks it's quite important to do the job, but It's kind of exhausting. It's kind of exhausting because it has to it has to scan the environment all the time. It's not just about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, it has to scan the environment and all the elements and all the parts of it to sort of anticipate
Mm-hmm.
what I might be attracted to, and it has to work really fast and do a lot all at the same time. It has to scan the environment, it has to identify all the things, it has to make judgment calls as to what might be dangerous or not. It has to keep its eye on me at the same time, or on the child. I guess it's me, I suppose. It's kind of frantic feeling. There's so much to do.
Yeah. And what would it rather be doing if it didn't have to work so hard in that way?
What would it like to do? This is not quite making sense. It would like to learn to float or fly or something. It would like to
maybe get a bigger picture from up above.
No, just the sense of flying. It just would like to, instead of having its feet on the ground and running around checking everything out, it would just like to learn to float and to fly and to do barrel rolls.
Have some fun of its own. Not have to.
Just and that it would just like that sense of being weightless or something. Yeah. And just roll and tumble and fly and oh goodness. Now it's starting to do tricks. It wants to learn to do tricks. Yeah, that's what it would like to do.
Okay. And how old does it think that you are?
How old does it think I am? I'm not really getting much. Hey, maybe quite little. Thinks I'm quite little. But not a baby. I think maybe feels like it's all around the time maybe when I started school, perhaps. And for us, that's about 5. We start school at 5. I think somewhere around there, maybe.
So it thinks you're 5. And I'm guessing that's why it has to work so hard. Or one reason, because it's thinks you're the 5-year-old impulsive kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Impulsive is never something I would ever have put to myself.
Well, I imagine that you did a really good job of stomping out that impulsivity, right?
Yes.
Right.
So I think
I bet if we asked the 5-year-old, that it's probably quite impulsive.
There was a movement in this country called the Play Centre movement.
Mm-hmm.
And it was started by mothers with preschool children who set up you could think of them as play groups, really. So it was a parent-driven movement to set up play groups for mothers and their children, and it was entirely parent-run, mother-run, and it was. I think it came out of academia somewhere. Some academics said this is a good thing to do for mothers and children,
Yes, we needed a doctor to tell us that play is healthy.
Well, yeah. We needed a progressive person who said having kids at home just on their own with their mothers is not healthy, and encouraging mothers to get together and do that. Well, my mother, being who she was and who she remains to this day, jumped right in and said, I'm going to do that. And she got other mothers together that she knew, and they set up a play centre group. And play centres were set up all over the country and became an official thing. They got funded from the government, and so it wasn't just a little local thing. Anyway, Mum got involved in setting up play centre, and play centre was a place you took and you got them involved in. They were fabulous places for kids. It was child oriented. It was lots of things to do, and it was developmental. It was soundly based in child development, understanding, and all that stuff. And a little kid at play centre could be as impulsive as they liked. That was the whole idea.
Yeah.
They set stuff out on the tables and they said, okay, off you go, kids. And the kids did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you went to school, and school isn't quite like that.
Not quite.
And I think maybe and Mum wasn't there. It was a teacher. And in fact, that first teacher that I had, I can still see her. In the end, she was asked to leave the school because once again, the parents got together and said, we're not too happy with this person. One of her rules was that every little girl had to bring a handkerchief to school. This is a very long time ago, James. A really, really long time ago.
Yeah.
So it probably sounds like another world to you, but we had to bring a handkerchief to school, and if possible, it needed to be fixed with a safety pin to our blouses. I don't know. It seems weird now, but that's what I had to do. And if we didn't bring us, she checked all the girls to make sure we had a handkerchief. And if we didn't, we were too young we couldn't write, so we couldn't write lines. And what she made us do was take chalk and draw handkerchiefs on the blackboard until she told us to stop. Because we'd been very naughty and not brought a handkerchief to school.
Yeah.
And it was pretty... I found the whole thing quite intimidating and awful.
Sounds like it.
And when I finally told my mother, she was pretty shocked by it too. And so then she started talking to other mothers and they all said, yes, we don't like this. And in the end, I think she was... Mind you, this is my childhood memory, so I might be wrong, but I think she was asked.
This memory's coming up for a reason.
Yeah. This all seems much safer territory than what I was. This is a memory that gets talked about in my family. You know, it's not just
too vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just my little inside memory. This is a whole story that we talk about.
But it does involve a little you who's intimidated and finds it awful.
I think that's the new part for me. The story, the family story, didn't include anything about how I felt.
Right.
I think that's what's new here, is that actually it was quite... The family story is about the
victory.
Not just the victory, but the unfairness or the
right.
You know, the
you mentioned that in our last conversation. Your family's standing up for the right things and justice and fairness.
And that's what the story is about. The story was never about the impact on me. That's quite odd.
That is one way to put it. I think it's really beautiful what you've come across here, which sounds to me like a concerned part, still hard at work, trying to protect you from all of those feelings that you experienced around that time, that you've I'll use the word forgotten about, but you haven't really, that have been pushed away. The intimidation, the feeling awful, the confusion, the no mom, no free play in school.
And nobody explaining to me that it was going to be so different. It was a shock. It was a shock.
Suddenly the impulsivity is not allowed and is punished.
Yeah. Not necessarily punished, but just...
Well, if you were impulsive enough to leave your handkerchief on the bus or whatever.
Well, that was nothing to do with me. That was Mum's fault. She should have made sure I had the handkerchief.
I'm sure there were plenty of other crackdowns on impulsivity.
Yeah. So that's 65 years worth, James.
Yeah, they're all in you still. You can let the concerned part know your real age.
Okay, hang on a minute. I almost feel like fibbing a little bit.
Feel like?
Fibbing, telling a wee white lie. Fibbing, F-I-B-B-I-N-G, telling a little white lie, because it's so shocking to tell it that I'm 70. I feel like telling a little white lie and just saying, no, I'm really just 40.
Yeah, 40 is fine. To a 5-year-old, it's all the same, right?
Yeah. Like 70 is just like unbelievable. Like,
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
So it's kind of shocked, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it weird for parts not to have a sense of time?
No, that's
time?
No, that's normal. That's what happens. That's why we have parts, basically. They're all trying to protect usually a young part of us. That job is so important that they stay completely focused on it. And the rest of the system is fine with that and says, great, we don't want to feel those possibly dangerous feelings, the impulsivity. We don't want that around. So keep that impulsivity locked up. And the part that does that job just keeps doing that job.
With no sense of time passing. It seems to have no sense that it's been, it knows it's been, it just has a weird sense of time.
Yeah.
It's not. Its sense of time is that now and forever are the same. There's no. Yeah, so it's a little bit confused.
Yeah, it's been forever doing that, and you've had that young part in you forever. You've had that child in you forever. So,
yeah,
it's not just this part's confusion. It's a whole system of parts who are kind of stuck in a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange, isn't it?
It's quite strange. And yet, it's how we all are. And we all have this capability to meet parts one at a time, to get a little more of the story, to learn that it's not just concern for no reason.
Yeah.
And suddenly you've been able to see this child and how she is, how she's been, what she dealt with. That was never part of the story before. That was never part of the story on the outside.
No, the story was quite different.
Yeah.
I didn't. That's so strange. That is so strange.
So you can thank it for showing you all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let it know that that's one way that you might be able to help it relax and get to that floating lifestyle, is that you could go and work with that young part. You could help her out. And you could give her back some of those things that she lost.
Right.
Yeah.
So that this part doesn't have to do that anymore? Is that how it works?
Right. And you could give her a channel for that impulsivity that's safe.
Yeah, that'd be quite good.
Exactly like your mom was trying to do with the play centers.
Play
saying,
yeah.
They need to play. They need to be impulsive.
Yeah.
You can bring that back.
Huh. That'd be odd.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's really great.
Do you know one of the things? I don't have grandchildren yet. And I kind of expected to by now. And, you know, I keep hassling my kids and saying, you do know how it works, don't you? You do know what you need to do to produce grandchildren, right? And I mean, I'm just teasing them. It's entirely up to them. But I would love to have grandchildren at some point when it was okay for them. Maybe I have got some in a way.
Yes. This is your internal family.
This is my internal family, and maybe there are some.
That's right.
Some grandchildren in there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. You can give them all the things that you could give a child on the outside. You can give them more.
More?
I mean, you can provide anything for them. I mean, they're in this timeless place where you can really bend a lot of rules and and create an environment just for them.
Yeah. That would be quite fun.
It is. It is. It can also be scary. It can also feel groundless at times.
Yes.
We're sure to encounter some anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we could have like whole squadrons of flying.
That's right.
Barrel rolling kids.
Yeah, each part can have really what it wants. If it can trust you with its needs, and it can trust that you're taking care of other parts, then they can all have totally different worlds if they want. You know, the 5-year-old might not want what some other part wants.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
So we got there today. With you in your massage bed chair, and me, and me sitting here.
Yeah.
But how?
Right.
How do I do that?
How do I do it? Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was quite tricky. Well,
it gets easier.
Tricky, but it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is our second conversation.
True. I listen to other people though, and it just seems to happen really easily. So
yeah, and how many of them show up and say, "I don't know how to do this. I can't do this." It's pretty common. If we knew we could do it, we would have done it.
Yes. Right? Yes.
So there's some learning, and there's some building a muscle. And how do you do it is really, it's kind of the same thing every time. You take a part, you listen to it, and you just keep listening to it and letting it show you what it needs to show you. When we go to the younger parts, when we go to the exiles, that can be a little trickier. But really, it's just listening even closer and going and taking even more care and time.
So is there some way? So remember I said right at the beginning, I felt like I was just standing at the door, you know, when,
Yes.
you know, and not. And I feel like that's happened quite a lot this week, that I've just been standing in the door. Is there any, how do I, like I do feel some pressure of time here, James. I'm not getting any younger.
Mm-hmm.
This,
Yeah.
This is, there's no, got to stop mucking about here.
So you're wondering what to do tomorrow?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. You go back to that door, open it up, let the parts know you see them, invite them to notice you, invite them in any way you can.
Oh God, you know what's coming up for me? This term that I've heard all my life. Trust the process. Trust.
Yeah.
Go there and hang out and wait and see what happens.
The process is saying hello and taking a minute to hear what they say back. That's the process.
Right. Doesn't have to be complicated.
It doesn't. Again, you know, a lot of the work with the exiles, with the younger parts, it can get complicated and it can get really vulnerable, and maybe there's a lot of parts to manage at once, and it can be really nice to have someone with you, you know, and
someone
I'm happy to
yeah.
I'm happy to be that person. But as far as just checking in, especially with these parts that seemed happy to show up, they're being friendly to each other.
They were.
You can do that anytime.
Yeah, that's true.
And just getting to know anything about them. Just even, this is the name, this is where I feel it, this is when it comes up. I mean, that's what it's all about. And it really, it's so much more. There's so much impact of just doing that kind of mindful witnessing of who's who. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe a more specific answer for you is, like, you've now met this concern part. So this concern part could be one that you more intentionally set out to say hello to tomorrow, or whenever.
I waved to across the room and say, come over here and have a chat.
Yeah. Tell me more about your floating fantasy. Tell me more about anything. And as far as the 5-year-old or whoever the young part is, you can just let it know that you won't forget about it, and that you'll come see it too.
Yeah.
It's waited 65 years.
Yeah.
If it takes a couple weeks, they're usually okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. That feels approachable, and excuse me sniffing. It's been a few tears here. That sounds like I can do it. That doesn't sound too big.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel too big. Yeah, I can.
Mm-hmm.
How long have we been talking? I have no idea of time.
Let's see. I think just over an hour, but I'm also not quite sure when we started, so I don't know.
Huh. Oh, actually, I can look at the thing here. I've got a clock right here in front of me. An hour and a quarter. Just over an hour. Yeah.
All right.
It's very odd. Okay.
Anything else? Any other parts that want to share any concerns about this process or have any questions?
No, the main concern now is the other end of things that I hate, which is the saying goodbye part, which I always find tricky.
All right. Yeah, we can experiment with that too. Let's see, what would be fun?
So
what would be the best way?
Well, the best way for me would be but it sounds a bit intrusive.
Yeah.
I kind of, it would be nice to know what, gosh, why am I needing to know this? It's so weird. It would be nice to know what you're about to do. Like if I can imagine you sort of...
like next in my day?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
That would help me say. Okay,
all right, thanks for letting me know that. Okay, yeah. Great, I'm learning. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit stop on this.
What time is it over there?
The time is 7:45 p.m.
in the evening.
So, yes, so I'm about to... So I typically have my dinner after my evening IFS call. So I will hit stop on both my recording devices. I'll jump up and I'll copy down a handful of notes from this call into a database so that when it's time for me to think about editing and publishing it, I'll have those notes.
Yeah.
And then I have to click some other buttons and make it all get uploaded so that it's backed up and it's uploaded and the guy who does the editing can have access to it. And that's all a little system that is pretty efficient. And then I will put on a podcast and I will start making my dinner, and that's the rest of my evening.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what do you think your dinner might be? Sorry, I don't
know. It's fine. It's going to be the same thing that I eat every day. I used to be kind of a foodie. I used to work in restaurants and I would spend all day long cooking. And now I'm the complete opposite, where I have 7 ingredients in my kitchen and I eat the same things for every lunch and dinner.
How comforting and secure is that?
It's pretty great. I never have to think about it. I make batches of things that are like 30 pounds of whatever I'm cooking and freeze it, and I just
that's really efficient. I wish I could get there. It occupies
0% of my mental energy now.
Yeah. No, your creativity's gone somewhere else.
Yes.
Yep. That's very cool.
Yep.
Okay. I have a picture of you now.
Okay. Well, if you want, I can send you a picture of that delicious meal on Discord. Although anyone else would say, "What? Why are you eating that? Where's the fun?"
No.
But hey, meat and vegetables, I'm happy.
Yep. As long as it's real food and it's nutritious.
That's right.
Yep. Very good. Okay, that makes me feel more relaxed now that I know you're off to do something, and it makes it easier to say goodbye.
Okay, well, in the future, it's going to be the exact same thing, so I hope that doesn't disappoint you.
I still might have to mention it, though.
That's fine.
Okay, that's really good. Thank you, James.
Thank you to all your parts.
Very helpful. Yeah. Okay.
Looking forward to
Enjoy your meal.
Okay.
Enjoy your meal.
Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, same to you.
Okay. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows, that might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. and they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.